Okay,
All right.
we are live. I hope.
Hello,
It says
everybody.
we're live.
Hello, everyone.
I never can tell.
Yeah, this is my first time on camera in over a month, I would say.
I know we've missed you.
Yeah,
We
I've not been
have.
feeling well at all.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, and
Gracious.
not well enough um, to really do a whole lot of reading at that time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I saw in Discord you just finished the book in the nick of time.
yeah, well, I actually kind of like doing that because it's fresh on my mind,
Yeah,
and I remember a whole lot more that way.
Yeah.
I don't
I
like
agree.
to do it. I don't like to do it a couple weeks ahead of time because I'll forget things.
Yeah, I had to take notes or I would have forgotten.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. But
I should have too.
I started.
Oh, you didn't?
Was it yesterday or the day before?
It was the day before.
Oh, I started the day before yesterday. And I'm just glad I'm able to read again. You know, that I feel good
Yeah.
enough to read again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said on the video I did a couple of days ago, every flower and plant in Georgia decided to bloom at the same time. And we've been dealing with the most god awful allergies.
Oh,
And you said the pollen is so thick it's like green on stuff.
Yeah, everything around here is green.
It's
that's
funny.
incredible.
I take Link out at night, and it's dark here because I live in the black hole of nowhere. But I always have a flashlight with me, and you can hold that flashlight up just straight at the sky, and you can see the pollen floating.
Wow.
Wow. Even
Maybe
at the
not
night,
right.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's-
and you go out and you can kick a tree and see a cloud of pollen.
Jeez.
Through.
Becky, was that your rant video the other day? Was that your?
No, that was Goodreads.
Well, no,
That
but
was-
she was talking about a Highlander book. But I mean, that's when she was talking about the pollen too. But
Yeah.
I thought that you brought up a really good point in that video, just about, our perceptions and how they can affect books that if we don't take upon it to make sure that, we're not coming at it from their perspective, then of course we're going to have these, skewed biases.
Okay.
I thought it was really interesting.
Mhm, me too.
Yeah, you see it. Hi, everybody. You
Yeah,
see
we
it,
have
Hello,
lots of people.
everyone.
You see it mostly with historical books. It's because what am I doing?
Everybody up there.
I'm waiting. I can't do that and talk.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't. I can't chew bubblegum and walk. at the same
Just
time.
don't ban anybody, Becky. Just be careful.
Yeah.
I saw accidentally block.
might
I
be
saw that. That was hilarious. It couldn't have happened to a better person. No, I'm just kidding.
I still feel kind of bad, honestly.
Yeah, he might be here in a little while.
I think everyone here, or a lot of people here, have you guys all read On What Grounds by Cleo Coyle? I think a lot of people have.
Hi, Jessica.
Yeah, and I know several people were talking about it today in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I really had a good time with the book.
Yay!
Yeah, I did. You're right. It is a little more gritty
It
Yeah.
is
than most
than a regular.
language. The violence,
Subject matter.
The violence is pretty close to the same.
Yeah.
But
But it's still a little bit more, and like
Yeah, it is.
subject matter.
yeah,
And as you go on further in the series, even more subject matter is not cozy. I know
Yeah.
there's somebody that actually stopped the series. I think it was like book 3 or 4 because something happens and they're like, "Whoa, this isn't cozy."
oh,
So-
okay.
She dropped the F-bomb.
Oh,
Yeah,
did she?
yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah,
Wow.
one time. I'd never seen that in the cozy before.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen it in the cozy. And I was like, well, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, I took
It's-
notes
it's-
and I didn't even.
It's right there at the end in the
end.
climax of the book.
Oh,
Oh, that was good.
He calls her an F and then a B, and I'm like,
Oh yeah. And then he said, okay, so for everybody, if you haven't read it, we're going to be spoiling the book. It's the only way to talk about it. So just warning, if you haven't read it, there's going to be spoilers. So yeah, feel free to just talk. So how did everybody read it? So this was my second time reading it, and I did an audiobook this time. The first time was ebook. So how did you guys read it?
Ebook for me.
first time I read it was a physical book, and I read it this time on audiobook.
Me too.
I'm I'm a Becky twin.
Yeah.
The first time
Yeah.
I read it physically because it was a few years ago when I was still able to see, and then this time
Yeah.
I read it on audio.
Same.
I know exactly what you mean about being able to see. I have a hard time with physical books now. I can do ebooks,
because
I
you can make the
I
font
can
this big.
yeah, I can adjust the font and make it brighter or dimmer, whatever my lighting situation is. And now that's really about the only way I read anymore. I have a lot of physical books, and some of them I will read, but they have to have pretty good size font.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
audiobook-
as books get older, the pages get yellow, and the font even gets harder to see too.
It does, yeah. I actually got a large print book from the library not too long ago and read it, and
I love that.
Yeah, that was easy. I could do that because it's real dark. They do that on purpose. The print is dark and it's pretty large.
and the letters are like this big.
It's like a senior phone, like when those seniors' phones that the numbers are this big.
You get like 6 words per page. It's great.
Yeah, it was a 400 and some page book that was stretched out to 670 pages.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're all part of the Glasses Club, so.
I haven't been able to find one, but my grandmother has. She said she got it years ago. I just don't know. But she has it's like a tall light, and the light's at the top. And then about midway down, there's a magnifier. And so you just sit sit in your regular chair, and the magnifier and the light shine right down on a book.
Go.
Oh,
But I've looked and tried to find something that's kind of like that and haven't been able to, but.
So we got audiobook, paperback, so we had quite a variety.
Hi, Gisela.
I've listened, I'm on book 11 of the series now, and I've read about half of them, and I've listened to about half of them, and I enjoy the experience both ways, and it was really fun coming back to the beginning of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Tiffany were talking about this. I forget, every time I read this book, I forget how much I like it with the writing and the storyline, but it's one of them I'm like slowly stretching out because I love it, and I don't want there to run out of books, even though there's like 18 and 19th ones coming out.
Yeah. Does she have another series as well?
So if you guys didn't know, Cleo, I just did a pen name author video. Cleo Coyle is a husband and wife writing team.
Oh,
really?
So yeah. So Mark and something. Yeah. So there's a husband and wife both wrote the book, and to me it's flawless, like seamless. So I don't know how they split it up.
Right.
They have a pen name, Alice Kimberly, something like that. They write The Haunted Bookshop. It's like a ghost detective.
Ow! I've been wanting to read that series.
The Ghost Miss Kimberly or something like that.
The Ghost and Mr. something. Yeah. So that's also Cleo Coyle.
Okay. Cool. Well, that the husband and wife writing team, that actually really kind of explains the guys.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
How well they're written.
They're more guy-like.
So do you think maybe they split up characters and some of them wrote some characters? That'd be interesting. I wonder if there's an interview. Really, I'm going to look for an author interview to see.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Or the way we do it. We've only done a little tiny bit of writing together, but I'll sit there with ideas, and then she'll be writing something, and I'll be like, let's try it this way, and that works really well too. We just bounce off of each other until we find the best way.
I have a great mental image of a guy sitting there next to the computer going, no guy says that.
Yeah. It is a great way to fill out the characters and get different perspectives.
The Ghost and Miss McClure. Yeah.
There we go.
I want to read that.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Oh, and Books Yada Yada said that one's fun.
She's read 2 of them. Hello, Books Yada Yada.
And Cheryl says, I'm on book 14. Listen to them all. I don't know if she meant the coffee house there's more than 14 coffee house, or maybe she's talking about the ghost one. I don't know which series came first.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never read any of the other one.
I just wondered if this is a debut novel. This is really well done.
I didn't bring out my device to search it, but yeah, I don't know. And I don't know when it was written. I'm guessing early 2000s, or if anybody could verify it in the chat.
Okay. Steve Bowen, it's pronounced Appalachian. I don't care where you're from, along the Appalachian Trail is Appalachian. Anybody who says Appalachian is wrong.
So
Yeah, I
what
agree.
did?
With Lady
Okay.
Lovestead Reads, Tiffany, you need to interview Cleo Coyle.
Yeah,
Well-
try to get a hold of him.
Yeah, we could. We could do it, but we're so. It's hard to get us to do a video now because we never know what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
I would like to reap the rewards of Tiffany doing it.
yeah.
She has it down now. Oh, Cheryl said she's up to book 14 in the coffee house. Cheryl,
Okay.
I think 18 or 19 is coming out this year.
How am I missing this?
Thank you,
Ernest.
Jessica.
No, it's down.
This is
Damn.
on book 14.
Yes, I
See?
know, but
And then Jessica says 2003 was the first was when On What Grounds came out. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
was it a debut?
Not sure.
Hmm.
I believe their Ghost series by their pen name was before, but I'm not sure.
Ah, okay,
Okay.
cool.
Oh, Steve.
Sorry, I'm trying. I got the me and Tiffany host mode. I'm trying to let. I'm not going to take over. Sorry, I'll let you guys do.
Okay, feel free. We'll follow along. We're good.
But yeah, Steve, that is my all-time favorite horror novel. It has a great mystery element to it. It's amazing.
Oh, it's
Who is that by?
Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell is interesting because he was the screenwriter of Beetlejuice.
Oh.
Yeah, and a whole lot of other screenplays.
I love
wrote
Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
me
wrote
too.
a lot of books. Tabitha King, Stephen King's wife, was actually one of his good friends. He died back in the 90s.
Oh.
Died of AIDS, and so she started taking over his books and finished a few of them.
Oh.
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
thought that was pretty cool.
That's
But
interesting.
a ghost writer she still used his name.
No, it actually says Michael McDowell and Tabitha King
Oh, okay.
on the cover. Yeah,
isn't that Stephen King's wife?
yeah, that's what I just
Okay.
said.
I thought you said Michael McDowell's wife took
No,
over.
no.
Oh, was I confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's one of the most clever horror novels I've ever read.
Yeah. It's Southern Gothic, takes place in Alabama. Everything he writes takes place. Everything he writes takes place in Alabama. But yeah, it's great.
Did they make it into a movie?
No, but I wish they would. It would have such atmosphere.
It would be a beautiful movie. The whole book is about 3 Victorian homes on the beach of I think it's the Gulf of the Gulf of Mexico?
It's the Gulf of Mexico.
One of the homes, the one in the they're like right in a row, and the one in the middle is haunted. They know there's something wrong with it, and it's slowly being consumed by the sand.
Tiffany's getting scared.
But I won't go into any more detail. But
I was surprised you watched Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is scary. There are parts of it that scare me.
Beetlejuice is the extent. That's as far as we're going.
That
So, on what grounds? The first time I read that book, I did not like it.
Yeah.
I
remember that.
It
was your very first cozy mystery.
Yeah, it was the very first cozy mystery.
Your very first. Wow.
Yeah. And I came to it on the heels of reading just like nothing but romances and like historical romances
for a long time.
For a long, long time. And I'm like, I'm going to try this. This sounds good. And I'm like, I really, really hated the dynamic of having the ex-husband there. It didn't bother me this time.
Yeah.
I actually liked the
because Matt is hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you gotta have it when you realize, it wouldn't be the same if it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just tired of cops as love interests. So I liked Matt. Matt was great. He was funny.
He was funny, and I think she handled him well for the situation of him just being there, and then it all unfolded with his
Oh my gosh! Yeah, when they started kissing again, I was like, "No, Claire."
Yeah, I know, but it was interesting that well, I had something in my head. Oh, it was interesting the level of growth that she experienced being out without him and things like that. You could tell, because the first time she couldn't handle him at all. It seemed like he was just out of control.
There it is. That right there. That's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, he'd make a great friend. He was an awful husband.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure he hasn't grown past that. Like I said, I haven't read past this book.
Yeah, the relationship, the stories, definitely, it's one of these. This series is great for story progression and character progression. So you'll see as it unfolds if you keep reading it. And for the cop aspect, I actually like Mike. I think it's because I've read later on in the series, but he's one of the cops I actually enjoy in a cozy
Quinn?
series. So.
Quinn, yeah,
Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn. Mike Quinn. Yeah.
Is his name,
She calls
is
him
his name
Quinn
Mike?
sometimes.
It only
She
says
calls
in
him
there
Quinn
once.
sometimes, and she
Yeah.
calls him Mike sometimes. She calls them both.
Because you got Mike and Matt.
Yeah. And she calls them both. So
Okay.
Yeah, no, there was one scene in the book that I thought was really bad. And it was really the only scene I didn't like in the book. I liked everything else, but it was in the coffee shop with all the dancers sitting around a table. It seemed so stereotypical to me.
I don't remember what else happened. I'm trying to remember.
She was talking to the I can't. What was her name? Allison, the murdered girl.
That's her last name.
Annabelle.
Annabelle. They're talking to her dance mates.
Okay.
Oh, her
They had the
instructor and all
Russian
them.
girl, and they had the one. Well, there were a couple of Russian girls, but everybody in it was stereotypical.
Mhm.
Every single person. There was a person of color sitting there, and she was
Yeah, that.
the hip hop style. She was totally stereotypical.
I think I vaguely remember that scene.
It was kind of cringeworthy.
Yeah, that's really the only time I had trouble with this book, though. I had no trouble with anything else.
But,
I liked how it opened with the perspective from the stalker.
Yeah.
Like that was really unique.
That was
And
kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a little creepy listening to him like as he's approaching the door and he's like, she deserves it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And I'm like, and then she answers the door so innocent, and I'm listening to it on audio, so I could just picture this in my head. I'm like, okay, that's creepy.
Yeah. And I'll tell you though, I had no idea until the very end.
Yeah.
And I doubt
I had forgotten who it was. And then
Me too, totally.
Towards the end, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it made sense for sure.
Yeah. But I'm trying to remember. Does it come out of nowhere, or do they mention the dad like once or twice? I think they might have mentioned him.
I think they
they
him
do
in passing, like at the dinner.
At the dinner, yes.
Oh, she meets him at the dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
he just sort of passes through.
Yeah.
And
So you want him? They want you to think it's the boyfriend, but it's the boyfriend's dad.
His dad. Yep.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought was interesting at the beginning was I thought that by having her go on and on about Annabelle, like I thought I was trusting her, and look how she left my shop open or not open, so to speak, and nothing's prepared. And I thought she was responsible to go, because I thought that like it showed, even though, I mean, obviously she felt completely different once she realizes what's happened. I felt she was a little more realistic as a person, because I think that that's the way anybody would react until they found that out. If you owned a business and that happened,
you're going to be upset. And then she finds her down the stairs and down towards, Yeah,
and I love this. I love the scene at the dinner party also with the man who's trying to buy the business. None of that sounded contrived. It sounded just perfectly real. And so far, I mean, this is the best written of all the cozies I've read.
I have a note down. I'm a big fan of the writing style and how descriptive it is.
Yeah, me too.
And the coffee talk, they did their research.
Gosh.
They did their
Oh
research.
my God.
And that
it was incredible.
That continues throughout the series. You learn a lot of different coffee types. You learn how to make the coffees. You learn different ways to do it. And the espresso talk, she's like, if you pull it too fast or too slow, it's this. It was great.
And even like that, like honey. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And unless I'm mixing it up with another story, it like further on, Matt like when you learn about the beans and different stuff, it's because Matt's actually like traveling and like like finding these beans, and so you learn about all different places
Oh yeah,
that they
he
have
goes
them
to
and how
different
that
countries.
it's
and
so intricate and done so
they
well.
they roast their own beans. Yeah,
And that's exactly how it's done. I mean, people travel like there's this coffee place in just right up the road from us, pretty much about 7 miles up the road, and the owner of that travels to Ethiopia and just all Hawaii, all over the world to get the best beans.
Yeah,
And you can taste the difference.
Oh yeah, you
But
can.
just before I move on, that lady loves Ted Reed. That dinner scene with
the
Matt
boyfriend,
and his daughter's girlfriend was his
daughter's boyfriend. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
They're Claire's like, or the daughter. What's the daughter's Joy? She's like, I have a surprise, and she brings a boy home, and they're just like, especially Matt. He's like, oh, and he's
and
like,
he was
the
just
boyfriend.
like,
And the boyfriend's
just like
cocky and
it.
reminds me of Matt, yeah. And he's like, oh, the food's going to be like something you'd find at the grocery store or something. And then he's, they're all impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boy is totally her father.
just like him. And he is so
and Claire,
funny.
I think Claire even says that. She goes,
She
reminds
does.
me of,
Yeah,
and she could tell that Joy
he's
like,
just like you.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm Team Mike too. Totally Team Mike.
I love Mike. Big crush on Mike. Nice, Sophia. Hi, Sophia. I hadn't said hello.
Yeah, I'm not Team Mike. I will never be team anybody that's a cop in one of those books. So I'm
Well,
I'm
I think as you continue the stories, you'll like Quinn a lot. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's I say Team Nobody at this point.
Yeah.
I think she's better off by herself.
Yeah.
I like that she thought it was important to continue her relationship with Matt because of Joy, even though Joy is an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they didn't have.
Get away from a cop.
They didn't have much of a relationship for the last few years because Claire was living in New Jersey with Joy. Joy's now an adult going to college in New York. So when she came back, and Madame, which is Matt's mom and her ex-mother-in-law, really wants Claire and Matt to get back together. So she sneakily has them both on a lease for the townhouse and has them co-owners for the grind. What's it called? Is it the grind?
The daily grind or the grind or
What was the name of it?
The village.
I can't believe I forgot it. The Village Blend.
Yeah, the Village Blend. Thank you.
I'm off thinking of a
So
real
so
coffee
she's
shop.
having them do it together. She's forced them together, and then Joy's just excited to see her parents. And Claire's forced into this. Now she's forced into a new life with everybody again.
That part about the parents trying to force them together reminded me so much of another cozy that I read, which was what is it? Death on Tap by Ellie Alexander.
Oh, I don't remember. It's been a few years since I read that one.
Yeah, because
Text me the address.
The family tried to get those two back together.
Oh, okay, yeah, I vaguely remember. Yeah, they are going through a separation, and yeah. Oh, and then Madame was my favorite character. I love Madame, especially as the series continues.
Yes.
Mine too, guys.
Yes.
And were you guys
I love the mother-in-law.
surprised? Scott, were you surprised when you found out that she wasn't really sick with cancer? Or did you suspect it? Oh, okay,
Yeah, I suspected it right from the beginning because, again, I've seen it before. It's something, but the thing is, this was before any of those others. This is kind of an earlier cozy when you're talking about 2003.
Yeah,
17, 18 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. And so, and this is a wildly popular series. And so you got to think that a lot of ideas came from this series that other people since then.
That's the thing that's like Becky's talking about, looking at a different perspective. So people that are used to reading more modern day cozies might be like, oh, I've seen this before, but this was a pioneer,
Exactly. Yeah. Because they didn't start until the mid 90s, late 90s.
Yeah. And I don't think there wasn't like a big upturn until like maybe 2010 and on.
Yeah,
was when
I was
they
gonna
got
say
more
it's way
popular,
later.
so.
Yeah.
So then the 90s and early 2000s and 80s, they weren't, a well-known genre.
Yeah, well, they didn't even really call them cozies until the 90s, I think.
Right.
Isn't that right?
Yeah, they definitely
called
did.
them,
And I think it was even later than the 90s, maybe.
Okay.
I forget what they called them.
Way.
I forget what they called them, but they were trying to recreate the Golden Age mysteries, they said.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, Tiffany, had you read it before?
I had, but
Okay.
it was quite a while ago. I'd have to look up on Goodreads, but it's been a few years.
I
Okay.
put that. I looked it up. The first time I read it was 2017, so not that long ago. I didn't start getting into solely
Oh.
cozies till 2018. So
I can actually
this
look on
was-
my Goodreads.
This
and
was
see.
when I was dabbling. So even me, not a cozy reader at the time, this is a series I had heard of just doing some research. So I was like, oh, I have to try it. And so it's taken, over 4 or 5 years, I've only read 10 of them. So I'm like saving like a couple a year.
Yeah.
But I really love the series.
Yeah.
It's not because I don't like it.
I kind of do that naturally. I don't go from one book in a series to the next. I always read something in between.
I would love to binge read, but then I'd just be sad that it's over.
Yeah.
I see. I tear through series, and then when I'm sad when it's over, I just start a new series.
So are you gonna come back to the coffee house sooner than later, you think?
Probably, actually, yeah.
Yay.
Not right yet, because I have a new Maya Banks book to read.
Yeah, you're saying Scott got you a new book.
Nice.
But Storm made an interesting point, and so did Steve Bowen. I don't mind the cop boyfriends, but it's nice to read a cozy where they aren't. I think we should put together like a list of books where the cop is not the love.
Storm
She did. She did a video.
She sure did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crap, I need to watch it. I haven't seen it.
I just read
I'll watch what you
Skeleton in the Family by Lee Perry, which is a very interesting cozy mystery. I loved it. And there was no cop at all. Like,
Oh, that's cool. That's interesting.
none at all. Like they're like, there's a cop in the background that was on the crime scene, but he wasn't in the storyline at all. And I was like, wow, that's refreshing.
That's like the Vicky Bliss books that I read. They're from this. They started in the 70s, but there are no cop presence.
Yeah.
No cop presence at all.
That's the Elizabeth Peters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she actually does everything herself, pretty much, in those books. Kind of like Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes evades the police. He doesn't work with them. And,
Me and Tiffany heard this comment.
yeah.
Yeah, that's based on the Hannah Swinton mystery series. But yeah, if you enjoy the Hallmark movies, go ahead and try it. I think Cleo Coyle is a great one to start with. Even though we're going to be spoiling it for you, I think you'd still like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve, I mean, everybody's saying I agree about the cop boyfriend being completely overdone and, and all that. I think that, it makes sense to the formula sometimes of the cozy of, they have to have somebody close to them that would be a reason they could get the information or that sort of thing. So they often, but I 100% think it's overdone. And I think it's really refreshing when they're not the love interest. I'm like, oh,
like if it's just a friend or or a brother, but then you have the whole other spectrum where the cop hates them always.
Yes. And that one's overdone too. What's the one where the cop is the brother's husband and he's so funny? He's foreign and he's
Haley Powell. Haley Powell.
Is
Sergio?
it? Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that one. But it's so overdone, that relationship.
Do I not like to reread? It's just I never have with cozies. This was my first time I ever reread a cozy and I loved it. I have reread other series in the past, but not cozy mysteries. But it made me think, like, there are a couple cozies I'd like to go back to, but there's so many that I want to read. I think it would be far in between.
Yeah, I'll reread like really intricate stories, like some of the Agatha Christie stuff, things like that. But
where you miss stuff the first time around.
Absolutely. If there's something else for me to learn, then I will reread a book. But if it's something, most cozies are really simple. Like we read one not too long ago by Vivian Chen. Death by Dumpling.
Noodle Shop.
Oh, the Noodle Shop. Yeah.
It was fine, but it was so cozy.
I have to give that one a reread because I didn't enjoy it, but I don't know if it was just the mindset. But now that I think it might have been her debut. So now that the series there's a lot in, I'm going to give it another try.
Yeah, I think that's a need to read through the first 2 or 3 books before.
I found quite a few series like that where they're just okay and then they'll get great,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, with it being a debut novel, there has to be some some mistakes. It's like Grounds for Murder, the first cozy I ever read. It just came out this year. We read.
Yeah, I want to try that one.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, but
it's her debut, right?
Yeah, she kept it going too long. It was about
Yeah.
350, 360 pages.
Which is pretty long for a cozy.
It is. And
Yeah.
she just tried to throw too many things in there, but it never got complicated. It was almost too easy because it was too long. So much information thrown in that she threw in everything.
Yeah.
You know, so there was no big surprise at the end, but it was actually pretty entertaining either way. It's a good
And
book.
then so it makes you curious to see how she'll handle the second book. In
Exactly, which I think will probably be quite a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sophia, are you talking about the narrator of the On What Grounds?
I think so. I love the
because-
narrator on that one.
I agree. She was fantastic. She did the male voices very, very effortlessly.
I agree. And
yeah, which is rare.
yes, that's what I was going to say, because sometimes it's so annoying to listen to either gender try to attempt the opposite. It sounds males, no offense, trying to do females usually always sound like serial killers or
Creepy.
really like and women just sound silly. I mean, it just sounds like but this one I 100% agree. I thought they were fantastic.
And for those of us that listened on audio, which I think is all of us except Scott, did you seem that half the time she said Claire Cossey and the other time it was Claire Cozy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Like I wasn't sure which way to pronounce her last name because I'd want to say Cossey, but I swear a couple times that someone said Cozy, and I don't know if that was okay.
I actually used cozy in my head as I was reading it.
Yeah,
so I don't really know.
Is it COSSE?
It's COSI.
COSI.
Yeah.
And I'd always pronounced it Cossey when I read it the first time, but then she did pronounce it Cozy, and I was like,
sometimes I would have to re-listen. I'm like, wait, did she say Cossey or Cozy? But I think depending on who talked to her, it was like that. And I don't know if she did that on purpose or what.
You know, it's kind of funny, Stephen. That's pretty much what Quinn was described as. Complete with the trench coat. It's great.
Yeah. And he's used to the sludge that the other people, and then he loves her coffee when she makes it for him. I want to try a cup of her coffee because she acted like she was the best.
Oh my gosh.
It
just was so well described.
Yeah, this is my kind of coffee.
Yeah.
Except for the dark roast thing. I don't like dark roast coffee.
Ooh, I do.
But they featured a lot of different blends, and they always have a special blend every day from different countries.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if you hear that outside, but there's somebody out there out in the woods shooting guns.
Like, I couldn't hear it.
No.
We have that happen every day here.
I was about to ask, that's a common occurrence?
Every day. And it'll go on all weekend, especially Saturday. Sometimes they'll shoot 50 or 60 rounds in a row without stopping.
Yeah, seriously, it's like bam, 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 just one after the other.
I'd just be scared to go outside that there was a stray bullet or something.
I don't like being out there when they're doing that.
Yeah.
But it usually happens when I'm already out there, and I'm like, I'm too damn lazy to get up and go in the house. so I just stay out there.
You two, I'm going to send you guys fluorescent vests to wear outside.
No kidding, yeah.
And a little one for Link. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and then Lee said she said it more like Co-C. Yeah, I just swear I heard it different ways.
Okay, yeah, I have no idea how she wanted it pronounced, so I just said cozy. It worked. It was like I said Madame. I think the narrator.
I think I said Madame, and then in the book it's and then when you listen to it, it's Madame. Yeah, but I said Madame.
But I say Madame because I like the word better. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It brings to mind saloon madams to me. Bye.
It sure does.
Well, no, to me it brings into mind like I can't remember. Well, have you ever seen the movie Mannequin from back in the 80s?
In the mall where the mannequin comes to life.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
James Spader is in that, and he pronounces it in the French way. And I hate that character.
Madame.
Hate that character, and so that's what I think of when I hear the word Madame.
I don't remember it well enough to remember that, but I remember what you're talking about. That's funny.
Oh, that's true.
It would be a great cozy mystery setup.
Yeah, it would. Well, you know what? I'm not afraid of people turning around and shooting at my house. I don't think they're that stupid. What I'm afraid of is the ricochet.
Yeah.
You know, what are they shooting at? If they're shooting at trees, they ricochet. If they hit a rock, it's going to ricochet.
Yeah, it wouldn't ever be on purpose. It would be an accident.
Exactly, but it only takes once.
Yeah, sure does.
But yeah, I don't know why they do that. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, she is from Missouri. Yeah.
that's right. See, I'm from Missouri too, Storm, and that's common. I have some family members that are kind of like that, and I don't think they watch these videos.
I love that scene when he pops his
He's like really fast.
Oh yeah.
And then and someone mentioned Tucker and Esther. Yeah, I enjoy the side characters as the series progresses. You see more of the side characters. I really start to enjoy Tucker a lot, the barista.
Mm-hmm. He was a great character.
Yeah, and he's even more in the there is one side character I don't like at all. It's somebody's boyfriend. I forget who it is, but he's like a white rapper type of guy.
Oh,
and
I don't remember.
He annoys me. I don't remember his name, but it's some silly name. I don't even know if he's white. Maybe he's not white, but it's like the rapper type. And I want to say he's like a Russian rapper or something. And that's the only side character that drives me crazy. But each plot of the book is unique, and I enjoy the mystery in every one of these books that I've read. So, and that's a big thing because besides the characters and the story, I enjoy the mysteries. And then when you have all three, it's like, so what did we rate it? I originally rated it 5 stars. My reread was a 5 stars. So I loved it. What about you guys?
4 for me.
Which is great.
I don't do 5s. I don't do 5s very often.
Oh, ever? So a 4 is like high for you?
Rarely. Oh, 4 is extremely high for me. Yeah, I don't do 5 very much. What I've given 5 is Moby Dick, The Scarlet Letter, stuff like that, stuff that's going to stick with me forever.
Yeah, yeah.
That's only what those are the only books I really rate 5 stars.
But this was the best, well-written cozy you've read so far that you like?
It is. It's just
between that and Death on Top.
It's a hint above Death on Tap. Very close, but yeah, I hate to say it, but it does beat it.
Well, it's a pioneer. It's very well written, and like I said, I forget how much I love it every time I come back to it.
It was a solid 4 for me.
Yeah.
Same as Becky. I gave it a solid 4 too.
And then I think Tiffany, you rarely do 5 stars too, right?
So 4 is an excellent.
My rating system is all on emotion and how I felt. So like 1 star is not for me. 2 is just okay. 3 is good. 4 is great. 5 loved it. I don't make it serious because if it's serious, you're never going to have 5-star reads. You know what I mean? So so it's all about emotion. And then one book I rate 4 star or 3 stars, I will like more than another one I rated 3 stars. So it's, there's a scale. So it's all just how I feel and how I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, I understand that. Yeah.
Boris, thank you. So he is probably Russian. Yeah. That's the character, the rapper character I was talking about.
Okay. So yeah, you well, see, I read everything, including, ancient books, novels from lots of 18th century and 19th century novels and stuff like that.
Wow.
So when I read that kind of stuff, that's normally the kind of stuff I give 5 stars because I have to work at reading some of it. And by the time I'm done, I have a sense of accomplishment. I read Bleak House by Charles Dickens last year, and it was over 1,000 pages. And and it kept me for a good part of a month. And I never got bored. And if an author can
if you can do that, it has to be a 5-star. If it can keep your attention for that long.
Exactly. And still have me thinking about it a year and a half later.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sophia, awesome.
So the way I see it, if I rate something 5 stars that I was able to finish in an afternoon, and I forget about it in a week, I don't think about it, again for months. Then where do I go when I read one of the best books I've ever read?
Yeah,
that's just how I look at it. But like
I have a hard time with the star rating period. I feel because everybody has a personal experience with a book. So
exactly, yeah. Well, Steve Donahue, I don't know if Mark Richardson does any ratings or not, But Steve Donahue says no, we should just stop giving star ratings because we're giving people an out to just go look at a star rating and not read the review. And that's exactly what happens when you think about it. So I really want to stop giving star ratings, but I suck so bad at writing that I'm too lazy to write a review.
He's full of crap.
No, I'm not.
I've heard of people saying, "Oh, it's mostly 3 stars or under. I'm not even going to read it." I'm like, "What?" Like,
yeah.
And there might be something you rate 3 stars that you really liked. So there was just an aspect of it that dropped it for you. And it may not do that for everybody. And so if they would go read the review, that's what you need to look at.
And I agree.
Some people do 1 star, and I gave it 5. So
absolutely, and I agree about the reading it because even though I gave it 3 stars, like I said in a review, verbally, I said I gave something 3 stars, but I want you to know it was because of the topic for me. It wasn't the writing. It wasn't the setting. It wasn't anything the author did. It was a personal preference. If you like this, and this, it'll be a 5-star for you. There was nothing, you know what I mean? Like as an example, even Ellery Adams, her antique shop, I think, because I'm not really into antiques, it just didn't hold my attention. It was perfectly well written. She's an amazing writer. So if you just saw my review and saw 3 stars, but if you read it, you might be like, I love antiques. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the thing. There's always going to be people who are reviewing these who are giving them low scores for a very different reason.
Exactly.
Considering.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Like your rant video about the 1
the
star
Highlander video. I was like, oh.
I mean, there has to be something given to good writing, even if you don't like the subject.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There has to be. Like I read this book. It was the biggest piece of trash I've read in a long time. And it was called Luster.
Oh, Lord.
And it was nominated for the BookTube Prize. So I was reading it for the BookTube Prize. Let me tell you, she is a smart, wonderfully intelligent writer.
So you have to appreciate it for that. Yeah.
So I had to appreciate it for that. So even as much as I really hated the book, I had to give it something for her writing style. It's not the worst book I've ever read because of that. So I gave it 2 stars. Really wanted to give it 1, but I just couldn't. Like I couldn't.
It's the most nihilistic, negative book I've ever read in my life.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Mark. Yeah, I'm thinking about not doing it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I rate it just on my enjoyment. Yeah, I know you don't have to on Goodreads.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like when I rate a book 1 star, it doesn't mean it's a bad book. It's just not for me. But I feel bad, like you said, about the writing aspect, because sometimes the writing's good, but it's just I didn't enjoy it,
Absolutely. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
And what Becky was saying about the rant video was so funny was I was like, I agree, Becky. If you don't like a book, why would you pick up number 2? And then crazy, why would you pick up number 3 after rating the first 2 one? I can see maybe picking up the second book because in terms of, okay, let's give this author another chance. I've done that before.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't pick up the 3rd book. I just don't believe it. And if you do, you deserve to, I don't know. You should,
by the 3rd book, it was just mean-spirited.
Yes.
That's all there was to it.
Or she didn't even read books 2 and 3, and she just rated 1 star because she wanted to, because she didn't like number 1. I've seen people do that before.
Now, the only way that she would have read books 2 and 3 is if she were a professional reviewer. And when you read her review, she's not a professional reviewer. It's just not her review was not very well written. But yeah, she was just mean-spirited, and that's what I told Becky. I was like, I don't think she even read books 2 and 3.
Yeah.
She gave them the same notes.
She just wanted to discourage other people from reading them.
Yeah.
I guess, or she just wanted to make a splash. But what bothered me the most about the whole thing is the number of people who are saying, "I'm glad you wrote this. I was thinking about reading these books, and I'm not going to now." And I'm like, no.
There are a lot of readers who are influenced from opinion, and I personally I recommended some of my favorite books, and people are like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't like it." I'm like, "That's fine. I don't know, you know." It doesn't bother me.
Absolutely.
Everybody's
See?
different.
Exactly. I love the Ellery Adams. She loves antiques. It was perfectly well written. And I said that in my review. Nothing to do with the book. I just am not a big antiques person. It just didn't hold my attention. It had nothing else to do with any, I mean, it's like if you hated cooking and you read a culinary cozy, you might not be interested.
Yeah. And something else that has always bothered me about book reviews are people who give a book review without finishing the book.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I've seen that a lot. Like, even if a book is just terribly written from the first 12 chapters, the first third of the book, I don't feel I can give us at least a starred review on a book that I haven't finished, because maybe the final chapter would have just blown my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, and some of those authors, especially independent authors, that's their bread and butter, are these independent reviews.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so what if I was wrong and I just didn't finish the book and then gave a starter review?
Yeah.
Anyway?
I always mention that I DNF'd a book, and I will still count it as read. I know some people don't count a DNF book as read, but if I spend at least a couple hours of my time in the book, I'll count it as read. You know what I mean? Like if it's only like 2 chapters and I'm like, not feeling it at the moment, I won't. But if I'm spending 2-3 hours reading a book, I read it, And a lot of times I will skim towards the end, but I don't, I won't, if I DNF'd it without looking at least the whole book, I won't rate it a star rating, because it's like you said, it's not right.
Yeah, you can leave something that says I wasn't able to finish for this reason, but to give a star rating on it, that's going to bring the whole thing down, the whole number down, and a person just can't be sure if it's good or not if they don't finish.
Right.
I've done that many times. Not DNF books and stuff. I've done that a lot. But I don't want to mess with an author's livelihood just because I didn't like something they wrote.
Did you see, this is so timely, because did you see where some author debut novel came out this Tuesday, and she went on Goodreads? Do y'all know what I'm talking about? She went on Goodreads and copy and pasted. Nobody had gave her under a 4-star rating. Nobody. So 4 and 5 stars, debut novel. I guess it's a bunch of essays. It's not so I don't know if that'd be considered a novel, but you know what I mean. Copy and pasted the 4-star reviews onto her Twitter and then called them assholes. Ooh, called them names. Called them mother. Called them mother blankers. I would never say that word. Don't worry about that. I'm so sorry about the other one. Called them.
This is not a children's channel.
Okay. Called them book reviewers. She called us nerds and power tripping, and for 4-star reviews.
For 4 stars.
First 4-star review. She didn't have anything below a 4-star review. And so I bring it up because people then were like going in and like, oh, you don't like 4-star reviews? How about a 1? And they weren't reading it at all. But they were specifically saying that. They were like, and then they were like, who's got the power now? Calling us nerds with no power, geeks, blah, blah, blah. And then she came back and was like, well, now I'm being bullied and this and that. So it's just so funny that your guys are saying that, because it was this. And I'm like,
why star ratings are so problematic, honestly.
Well, it reminds me of a barber shop I went to once. And this woman was ranting and raving in there because she had gotten a 4-star review that says this is a great place on Yelp or whatever Yelp, something like Yelp. Mm-hmm. No, it was Google reviews is what it was. Okay. And she was in there ranting and raving and telling me to go to her her Google review and put a 5-star review in, and she was mad because she got a 4-star rating.
Wow.
That's what are people doing?
In today's age with the internet and everything, word of mouth is going to be one of your biggest forms of advertisement, especially if you're a writer. Especially
and it's hard to get into the publishing scene nowadays.
Yeah. If you're a cozy mystery author, your best bet is to build a very good Facebook presence, and Twitter presence, and Instagram presence, and nurture those.
Yeah, nurture your relationship with your audience.
Nurture your relationships, And you cannot get irate and call people out for reviews that you consider negative, even though 4s are not in any way negative.
Right.
Yeah, you'll dig yourself right out of your writing career.
Show me
Doing
one
that.
book that has all 5 stars. I don't
Oh
think
my
it exists.
gosh.
They don't
I mean,
exist.
No,
They don't.
I mean, my favorite books in the world, which are Dune and Moby Dick, may not even have 4. You know, I mean, even though they're really, really great books, there are a lot of people out there like, I couldn't finish this book, 1 star.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. And, you know, not even they are perfect.
well, it's like somebody said earlier, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, we all 4 of us are readers, and every person in
Yeah.
this chat is a reader, and we all have our own personal preferences about what we enjoy in
Absolutely.
books. And all 4 of us, we are all very different readers, and we can pick
And
a
we're all
book.
open-minded about it. Like, we don't, if I would never get mad if you didn't like my favorite
Yeah.
book. Ever.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah, we could all pick a book that's considered a beloved classic the world over, and we'd all have different star reviews.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with the book itself. It just has everything to do with the readers.
Yeah, and it's nothing to do with the author personally either, most of the time. I mean, there are a lot of people now that are pissed at this author or that, you know, and they'll never give them a good review, or not read the book and give them a bad review. But
And then you have some, which I think it happens in the YA community a lot with the younger readers, is you'll feel pressured to give a higher star rating than you really feel because your friends like the book, or you see a lot of booktubers rate it higher. So you're like, oh my God, I wanted to give this 2 stars. I have to give it 4 or 5 because my favorite booktuber likes it. There's a lot of that in the YA community. When I used to read YA, I noticed that a lot.
Whoever thought peer pressure would take place in booktube?
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, Sophia, I agree with this wholeheartedly. You know, there's no reason to send a tag author in a review that you don't like just to be. I do think that's antagonistic and just mean. I mean, it's just mean. There's no reason.
Tiffany,
for that.
haven't you asked some of the authors you interview, like you asked, do you read your reviews? And most of them have said no. Like, I don't even look at it. Once I put it out there, it's out there, which is the smart thing to do.
Yeah. Yep. That's what Ellie Alexander said on our channel.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't read them.
Yep.
Because it's good for peace of mind. It's good for mental health not to read reviews.
Absolutely.
Because they can give you the big head, or they can cut you down.
Yeah.
And there's really no in between, I don't think, with a lot of people. So, yeah, I was shocked at how approachable a lot of these authors are. And Tiffany, I'm sure you've been too.
Yeah.
You've gotten a lot of author interviews.
It's
She
crazy.
said they're the nicest people, and they are.
I'm just shocked by how open and you know, personable and kind they are, and just yeah, it's so amazing and shocking, and it makes me like them even more. You know, talking about how when authors behave badly, you know, if you spin it, it's just the same for me too. And you know, I almost want to read them more when they're that personable and that kind. And
I fell so in love with Lee Hollis even more than I had before after watching that interview.
Yeah. They were both on there at first, right? And then one left or something like that.
No, we didn't even know it was brother and sister. Like, we were shocked.
When I went on there, it was just him. So I thought maybe both of them.
Yeah, no,
were there.
she wasn't on there. And she just writes the recipes and the flashback scenes for the newspaper that she works at. And he writes everything else. But they play back and forth with each other. They're like, what would she do with this and this? But it's seamless. Like, we had no idea.
He was extremely charismatic, very nice person.
He was
very,
the best.
very, very nice. And, you know, I did not know when I first emailed them that it was a brother and sister. So it was really funny because I got an email that was like, I watched your channel. I would love to come on. And then it was like, best Rick. And I'm like, who the is Rick? I don't know a Rick. And I was like, and I couldn't. And then I think I emailed him back and was trying to be nice, but trying to be like,
who are you?
Basically. And then the next time he put in parentheses Lee Hollis, because the email didn't give it away, because you emailed onto through their website, not like through personal email.
So you're like, oh, it's
So-
an assistant or something.
Yeah. So the next time they put it in parentheses, and I was like, oh. And then I looked it up and I realized he was amazing. Really.
But how awesome for an author to come back and say, "Oh, I watch your channel."
I know.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
we were.
That's
really
why I
shocked.
would love for you to get Cleo Coyle. That'd be so cool.
Yeah,
That would
we've
be.
tried to get Vivian Chin, but we haven't had any luck yet. We got Ellie Alexander, which is the only one we tried.
But that's a heck of a one to get.
I know.
That's incredible.
We weren't expecting anything.
And so real quick, I just want to say that Books Yada Yada, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. She has a YouTube channel and she is interviewing Libby Klein next month, who does the class murders or reunion.
She reads cozies. Oh my god!
Nice.
So I just wanted to. I don't know the exact date. Maybe she'll tell us in the chat. I hope I didn't give anything away I wasn't supposed to
I
say.
have to subscribe to you. I'm excited. I haven't tried Libby Klein, but I want to.
Yeah, I like Books Yada Yada. She's got a really, really good channel.
Yeah, think about what Mark said. They'll probably fix the reviews of that one woman who put the 4-star reviews on her
And make them
Facebook page.
5 or just a
Well,
little.
and take away the 1 point ones, or where people are saying that. Well, I haven't read your books, but here's 1 point. You know.
Oh,
what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to get back. I want to get back to On What Grounds, but there was a YA author a few years back. I don't know if it's her debut or what. She was so upset from this one book blogger or YouTuber or something's review that she looked her up, found her home address, and came to her house.
What?
What? So, Jinx Becky.
If I could find the book and the author, I'll let you know. But it's like, yeah, it was insane.
What?
You know, I mean,
And it was a YA book too. So it was a young adult teenager, you know.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I've tried reading YA quite a few times. Like Twilight is probably my least favorite thing I've ever read.
Oh, you read Twilight?
I read Twilight and
I never read it.
got about 2/3 of the way through the second one and I was done.
Yeah,
I read them all.
But it was just. So
I did too.
but it was just so people could say, "You haven't read it."
Yeah,
and then I say, "Oh yeah, I have." You know.
And that was a pioneer for not the modern YA, but for a good like 2010s around there. That was Stephanie Meyer's like that was. But when I tried to look back on it, it's so simplistic. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah. I just tried YA for a few years because I was trying to find what I liked in books. I knew I didn't like nothing graphic, so I was like, oh, YA, and then I was like, oh, I'm over this.
Yeah.
And the Twilight thing I didn't try it because it was YA, because I was older when Twilight came out, so it wasn't that. It's just I knew, again, subject matter. I knew that vampires weren't going to be something that I would really get into, so I just left it to those people who love vampires, and I went about reading my romance and my cozies.
I didn't like the books, but I love the first Twilight movie. It's so cheesy that I love it.
And see, I couldn't do the Twilight movies.
I only watched the first one, and then I tried the second one. I didn't like the second one, but I'll rewatch the first one here and there because it's so cheesy that it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark, if the gunshots didn't do it, the bears and the coyotes and the bobcats would.
There's bears. There's bears in Georgia.
Oh yeah, and mountain lions.
Wow.
Oh,
we have that in California too, like a couple hours up north from me.
You sure do, yeah. You have big mountain lions in California.
Yeah, I saw one time there was a mountain lion. I was driving up towards my grandma's who lives in the mountains, and it was on a branch, and the branch broke in the middle of the road. We were probably 20 feet away from it, and the branch broke, and the mountain lion's sitting in there and just runs off, and we were in shock.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
It is alligator mating season.
Oh yeah, you have alligators.
Right now it's alligator mating season, and man, they are every day they're on the news. It's trying to get to somebody.
Do you see a mate?
No.
Okay,
but they just get really where they come out. Most of the time, they don't ever come out of the water and bother you. An alligator's not going to. Now they'll try to get your dog if you don't put it on a leash, but they really don't come out and bother you. But mating season, they do.
Yeah.
You lived in Forks? That's so cool. I looked up that town. It rains 90% of the time. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to live there.
Oh, bless you.
That's where Twilight takes place because like it's a cover. It rains all the time and it's cloudy, so the vampires could get away with living there.
I know you did, Road. Becky, did you like the books? I know you said you didn't like the movies. Did you like the Twilight books?
I liked them at the time. But
Exactly, me too.
I read them right when they came out.
Okay.
So I'm not sure I would like them anymore.
I liked them at the time.
I mean,
yeah, I like to believe I probably wouldn't.
Bella,
but
isn't that her name?
Bella.
Yeah. Oh my God, one of the worst characters of all time.
Whiny. Ugh, I can't stand it.
She's the Hannah Swenson of the YA world. Oh my gosh, Scott, please read the first Joanne Fluke book just for my entertainment.
I've heard so much about it. I'm not sure. I'll give it some thought.
You'll enjoy it. It's the role.
I don't think he will. I don't think he'll even like the first.
Well, what I mean is the like complete utter like crash and burn isn't until about book 12.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cat and mouse.
I like that.
That's a great word. So, Lady Lovestead reads. I love vampire books. I absolutely love vampire.
I used to love vampire books. Yeah.
I still do. I can't get enough of them. But the sparkly vampires is where I draw the line.
There's a vampire cozy series that you would like, Becky. I need to send it to you. It's on Kindle Unlimited. It's called like Priscilla Pratt, and she was a human back in like the Pilgrim days.
Uh-huh.
And so then she becomes a vampire, and and it's a good series. It's a cozy series.
Absolutely, send that to me. I'm okay. Here for it, man.
Yeah, 20% already.
You got the.
Where's it? Okay.
It's plugged in next to you.
I know you guys usually don't do long lives, so maybe we should swing it back to. We're used to 3.5 hours. That's why we ramble.
Oh yeah, and I'm the worst.
Yeah, we're charging now, so.
Okay.
But
cozy vampires, yeah, Mark. There's a
lot.
I'll tell you what,
there's a lot of cozy vampires.
I've only found 2 vampires cozy series. I've only tried one of them, but there might be
more.
The vegan vamp is the other one I'm thinking of, but I haven't tried it.
The girl that's now doing the cozy book club with Courtagonist, Lisa
something, yeah.
Starts with an S.
Yeah.
She started a paranormal book club.
Yeah, and she's going to be talking about a vampire on one of her coming up ones. Yeah,
and so their first book will be in May, and it's a vampire one. But the other night, last Wednesday, she did like a premiere with her new partner. She's still doing the Cozy Escape with Courtagonist, but for the cozy. And she went through. There was like 6 or 7 that they chose that they had to choose from for their first read. So there's several out there.
Steve Bowen, Clown in the Cornfield is fantastic.
Yeah,
you guys talked about that.
Yeah, we actually
we did a review of it.
Yeah, we did a review of it. I'm thinking about trying to get Adam Caesar to do an interview with us.
He might do it. He's
is it scary?
Yes.
I mean, it's a clown in a cornfield.
Yeah, well,
it's a boatload of clowns in the cornfield.
I'm not scared of clowns.
But yeah, it's really good. It starts out slow. About the first 80 pages is really slow, but he sold the book. He sold the rights of the book to a movie company, so there's going to be a movie. And Adam Caesar is really cool. But yeah, he knows. I mean, he said he loves his channel.
The Vampire for Hire series.
That's the one that they're reading.
And I was looking down at Storm. How did I forget that? I'm reading a Vampire Knitting Club. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, the Sookie Stackhouse series. I haven't read that in a long time.
That series holds such a place in my heart. Like, I've reread it. I love that. And I love the TV show. Yeah.
And then Cheryl said Dean James writes a vampire cozy series. I've never heard of that person.
Which is Miranda James, and I think.
Oh, okay.
The one that is the cat one. I haven't heard, no, that one.
Can you take that down? I want to see Mark's too. Gotta answer it.
Oh, that's not Mark's. Hold on.
What?
Hey, Duncan, how's it going?
Hi, Duncan.
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
And then she wrote a book. And then the reviewer wrote a book called Kathleen Hill is a Crazy Stalker.
I bet
Did the reviewer write that book, or did the author write a book?
That's what she's saying. He's saying the reviewer wrote that book.
Oh, okay. I thought he was saying then the author wrote a book in third person. That's like,
oh God, oh, I hope not.
That is funny.
Hey, Paul.
So Thomas Tyrone Harvest Home, is that one you're talking about?
Yeah, I've got that bookmark. I haven't read it yet. No, actually, I have read that. I read that when I was younger, but I need to read it now because I don't remember much about it. I was probably 13 or 14 when I read it, because it's an 80s book, right, Mark? Hey, Paul. Yankee Southerners here.
Hi, Paul.
hi.
Hi.
Returning back to On What Grounds.
Yes.
Big segue.
Great job, Becky.
I know. I absolutely loved the very, very last page where she's talking about all she wants is she hopes she found endless music and a expansive level floor or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just beautiful the way she.
Now I got to go back and reread the last page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I think it's the last line, or next to the last line, or something like that.
Yeah. Listen to it. The narrator of the book did such a beautiful job. I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, why is this so sad?"
Oh.
One of the best written cozy series I've ever read. Like, even if you don't like the subject matter, the writing is just beautiful and descriptive and very well thought out. And like, and then there's husband and wife kind of makes sense now, because as you're saying, some of the lines are very like detail oriented, and some of them are just poetic, and so that might be their different things.
And the research they put into that book is incredible.
And I wonder if they were coffee obsessed, or they became it because of all the research.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like we asked Ellie Alexander about the beer thing too. She knew it very well. I think that's important for a writer trying to break into the business.
Oh, absolutely.
Get to know what you're writing about, because there are a whole lot of cozy authors actually who only have a surface knowledge of what they're writing. Not just cozies though, everything.
Yeah, if your character has a trade or skill, learn that trade.
Know everything about it, because you could have lazy readers who just go with what they read, but then you have the knowledgeable readers that are like, wait, I know about this more than you know about it.
Yeah.
So
it's the same principle with storytelling. That's one of the first things I learned early on when I started studying for storytelling. They tell you, if you're telling a story about some sort of process or skill, learn what you're doing. That way you can move your hands. That way you can give the body language that you would be giving as you're telling about this skill. And it's the same process for cozy mysteries. It's part of what makes them so good and so interesting.
And you can see and you can feel when somebody hasn't done the research. You can tell that they didn't put that in, especially when you read one like the Cleo Coyle coffee shop that did. You can tell a huge difference.
And if they were lying about it, I wouldn't know it, because the way they described it made it seem like it was true. So
yeah.
And I am on board with the decaffeinated argument.
Yeah, she doesn't like decaf drinkers.
She wanted a long rant about decaf.
And then she's like, tea. She's like, tea, we have some tea, but like, why would you want to drink tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the funniest things in the book was an argument right after Matt met Quinn, and they were talking about, what was it? I bet he has Folgers Crystals instant.
Like that was his insult, because
yeah.
Which is basically like, I bet he's this small type of thing. Like that was his insult for a guy. Yeah.
And she automatically assumed, even before she kind of knew, she's like, he pays, this much money for Sledge, and he could, for $1 more, get my, wonderful.
And at one point, she's creating the coffee for him in her apartment, and then something happens and it gets ruined, and she's more upset that her coffee was ruined than what's going on. I love Folgers. Folgers is good because I've never tried the like really gourmet coffees. So.
Oh, really?
And see, we
Yeah,
we
like-
do. We actually have a couple of the brewing methods that she was talking about. And
Oh, see, I
Oh.
would love that because, like, I don't like Starbucks. I think Starbucks is overrated.
Oh,
But
it
like
is.
when I make my coffee at home, I just use K cups, and I like a good medium roast, sometimes a dark roast. I like the house blend, whatever that is. Like I think it's Arabica. But
Yeah,
I've never had like you take your own beans, you grind them yourself, you do it through the French press type of thing, and I would love to try that. Yeah.
Yeah, you ought to see my setup in there. It's pretty good. I got a cappuccino machine. I got a grinder.
Oh wow.
Yeah, mocha
Oh
pot.
my goodness.
I got a mocha
Yeah.
pot. I've got a
You got the Chemex, the pour over
Chemex, the
methods.
Melita.
Oh wow.
We like our
So
coffee.
how do you?
I guess.
So do you like it? Do you like it black or do you sweeten it or what do you do?
I don't put anything in it.
I
Oh,
doctor
wow.
the bejesus out of it.
Yeah, she does.
I'm an in between. So my husband likes black or just like he'll do either black or if he does like a frozen drink, it's funny. So he's like either black coffee or if he gets an iced drink, it has to be like doesn't taste like coffee. You know what I mean? He's like there's no in between for him.
See, Mark, I'm with you there.
Ew.
Whiskey definitely improves the taste of Folgers.
I do a couple pumps of sugar-free syrup, like sugar-free hazelnut or sugar-free caramel, and then I do
Yeah, she does too.
one or two of those little mini half and half cups, and that's how I do it. I don't like the straight up like coffee creamer that you get in the store because it's too sweet. Even if you do a splash and you never get it, I like my coffee to taste the same every time. So like when I pour it in there, it's either too sweet or not enough sweet, and I'm like, so I found half and half in the sugar-free sweeteners, and that's what I like.
Well, see, I
And
started
I'm-
drinking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, oh, you go right ahead.
Okay, I started drinking. Is Kenyan coffee?
Yeah.
Coffee from Kenya, and and Kenyan coffee is usually light roasted. Light roasted coffee is nothing like medium or dark roasted coffee.
Yeah, I've
At the
tried
time-
light and it's hard. It doesn't really taste. It must be hard to get it right.
Well, yeah, it is hard to get right because so if it's under roasted, it tastes like grass. If it's over roasted, it tastes like charcoal.
Oh.
So it's got to be roasted just perfectly. And this place that I buy it, they roast it absolutely perfectly. I have roasted coffee and I burn it, so I just stopped doing it. But
Is that equivalent to like a breakfast blend that you would find in like a commercial? No, it's even lighter than that.
It's much lighter than that.
Oh.
And it almost tastes like tea. It's got kind of a tea flavor to it.
Like
but
an English breakfast type of thing.
Yeah, like a black tea.
Yeah, like a black tea,
Okay.
but it also tastes like herbs and fruit and all kinds of stuff. But it's so rich in flavor.
Yeah, for what
Interesting.
Sophia said, I was very pleased that she made Greek coffee in the book. Very proud of it.
Yeah.
Sophia's Greek. Yeah, that was very interesting. And then the Greek was super impressed with her making it for
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
I liked that she went just through the process from beginning to end.
She did.
Yeah.
I love
Great.
that.
It's like you were talking about Kate Carlisle, how she's very descriptive with what she does. Yeah, I love how descriptive. And I feel like some readers would find that boring. They'd be like, oh, no, but I found it fascinating.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
see, that's always been fascinating to me in cozies. I love that about them. But
I do
makes
too.
me want to try Greek coffee.
Yeah, that's actually
I
my
love very
Yeah.
descriptive stuff.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing about cozy so far is learning. I actually it's fiction.
She might
But-
not know if they don't have it in England. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's fiction, and I really love the trades and things like that. And I
Yeah.
don't like when they give it a surface glance either. You know,
Yeah.
I like to know about what they're doing, and so I need to read one of Becky's Kate Carlisle books because of bookbinding and stuff.
And
like
I
that.
need to go back to it because that was one of the first cozies I ever read in like 2014. So I'm now that I know what I like in cozies, I'm really excited to get back to it. And there's this one series I've been dying to try. It's only 3 books. And it's about glass blowing. And I'm like, if it's a female glass blower, and I'm like, if she doesn't get into detail, I'm gonna be so upset because I would love it if it was detailed. And it's Sheila Connolly's pen name, so she probably will get into detail.
Mm-hmm. Sophia, Folgers is a very, very popular brand name coffee in
Generic.
America that it tastes like a sort of like a mixture between dark coffee and dirt. It tastes like grass smoking. No.
Yeah, and
Mark,
later
because
later
you
on
know
in the series, My husband's home just a second. My dogs are gonna freak out.
Oh, okay.
That's funny. I was just gonna say the coffee. I think like what you're saying. I think for me, I'm the weird person that depends on what kind of coffee and how I drink it. If I'm drinking like a specialty, like you're talking about, that I went and bought like special beans or something,
Yeah.
I'll drink it black because I just want it. But if I'm drinking something like Folgers, I need to doctor it up, like Becky, and Rose. She said too. I need to, yeah, and that's so it doesn't taste like dirt.
I cannot do black coffee, but maybe that's because I've never had it like how Scott does it from the starting process.
Exactly.
So like,
Yeah.
but like if for me to have black coffee from a K cup or from a chain, like no, I can't stomach it. I always say to my husband, I'm like, here's your cup of tar, because that's what it looks like.
Well, let me tell you, and the thing is, it's not expensive to get started doing it. But once you start doing pour overs and stuff,
You can't go back.
You can't go back.
Mm-mm.
Becky and I.
And
know
I
that for
always
sure.
heard that if you have your beans, you're supposed to freeze them. But then Claire was saying, no, don't freeze them.
Yeah, don't freeze them.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
freeze them.
Well, don't freeze them if you're going to take them out. The only way to freeze them is if you're going to freeze them once and take them out and never put them back in.
Oh.
Yeah, if they're
So you're
still-
supposed to keep it
still
in an
sealed.
airtight container.
Yeah.
Okay. And you
Yeah.
have like a certain amount, so you shouldn't get like a whole bunch at a time. You should get a little bit and then you grind it.
Yeah, and then you got to bring them out and you got to let them sit until they're room temperature and leave them out and not put them back in.
Just peek in and say hi real fast.
I'm
My
sorry,
husband's
Mom.
right here seeing our dogs. Oh, he doesn't want to peek in.
Hi, Cozy's husband.
Yes.
That's
They
right,
said
that's
hi.
right.
Hello.
Hello.
He's already off. He was just laughing at my dog because he woke her up. She's on the chair.
I only drink hot chocolate to my non-coffee drinking years. Everyone sounds like Charlie Brown's speeches.
Wow. Yeah, there are a lot of people who
I'll tell
don't
you what,
like coffee.
When I buy coffee, when I buy coffee, I pay a lot.
So
I pay,
if you
it's
had the
about $20
choice,
for 12 ounces.
so if you had the choice, when you're out, you would rather have nothing than grab a cup of Starbucks.
Not necessarily. It
Okay.
depends on how hard up I am. If I
Okay.
need the caffeine, if I need the caffeine, then I'll get a Starbucks latte where there's
Okay.
very little coffee and a lot of milk.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
buy actual coffee at Starbucks. I buy frappuccinos.
Yeah.
I like the chai tea. The only thing I like from Starbucks is a chai tea latte.
Oh, those are so
Those
good.
are good.
Yeah, that's the
I
best
want to
thing
make
you've
one
got.
homemade. Do you guys know how to make one homemade? I tried it and it was gross. I'm not good at brewing tea. I've tried it and it always tastes like crap.
Hey, you can buy the chai tea latte or the chai tea that you can get right out of the container. And it's the same thing
Okay.
that they use. It's the same thing they use at Starbucks.
And you just add water.
You just add milk.
Oh, okay.
So you add about 2 parts milk to 1 part chai tea.
No, it's about 8 parts milk to 2
Yeah, I haven't tried to
That
branch
much
out in
sugar.
teas. I know I don't like herbal tea, like chamomile and that. I know I don't like that. I know I like chai tea, and I like English breakfast, but like all the ones in between, I'm just too scared to try because you have to buy a whole box to try it normally, and it's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the fruit teas.
you like the fruity teas. I have
Yeah,
tried
Becky
like a
does
lemon
too.
or a raspberry. It was okay.
Yeah, Becky
This is-
does too.
you're getting some great pointers.
Yeah, and you're right.
Well, it's related because it's a coffee series, so
Moisture light. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
very
she went
true.
into full detail about how to store your coffee in the book.
Yeah.
It's in
Right.
in her DNA.
It's in my DNA.
Oh,
Yeah, Colombian coffee is one of my favorites for sure.
What about the part in the book where there's this white powder and they're thinking it's cocaine because he used to have a cocaine habit and it was caffeine because he used it for jet lag? It's funny. And they're like, he's like, get it tested, but
Yeah, he said there was about 100 cups of coffee in that bag.
yeah. So he just like what puts it a little bit like it would kill you to take the whole thing.
Oh yeah, it would. People have died from drinking too many Monster Energy drinks and Red Bull.
Yeah, and they used to have those red lines, which are like little shots, and people they said don't take more
Yeah.
than 2 in a row. You can have a heart attack. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Mark, you can throw a good sized rock here and hit a Starbucks
Oh.
Or a Waffle House.
or Waffle House.
Yeah, we got a Waffle House on just.
have you
about
guys
every
ever
corner.
tried Dutch Brothers? I don't know if it's out there. It's probably a West Coast thing, but that's really good coffee. It's funny you go to their, but that's like that to me that tastes like dessert. It doesn't taste like coffee. I'm sure you can get a regular coffee, but if you go to their place, there's like 6 things on the menu. But if you look online, there's like 50, like there's all different flavors. Like I had like a snickerdoodle one, and it tasted like dessert. But
Oh my gosh!
To me, the chain coffees taste like dessert. Like they don't taste like coffee to me. You know.
I've never
agree.
been a fan of cinnamon in coffee.
Oh, I love cinnamon in coffee.
It's the same with chocolate. I don't like cinnamon in coffee or chocolate.
I don't like chocolate. I don't like mochas, but I love white chocolate mocha and I love cinnamon.
I like cinnamon too.
Mochas.
I don't want chocolate, but I like cinnamon.
I'm not picky.
Mhm.
There's chai tea K cups. Thank you, Giselle. I'll look for those.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I love my Keurig. That's how I drink my coffee is Keurig. I love my Keurig.
It's been a good chat.
We have a Keurig too.
And you so you enjoy it?
Becky does.
He's a coffee snob.
I do like I go between the donut shop blend, which is like a medium, and then the house blend, which is like a little darker.
I'm not really a coffee snob. It's just that I tried. I drank other stuff for a long time, right?
Yeah.
I did.
But
she's like, you are a snob. And how many cups? Like how many? So I actually don't have to have coffee every day. But I think that's because I don't work. If I worked, I would. But if I do have coffee, it's one a day. Like, and how are people? There's some people that drink a pot a day. What do you guys drink?
I knew a lady who drank 3 pots of coffee before she came to work at 7 o'clock in the morning.
How?
Oh my gosh!
She's like shooting them like shots. Like
it had to be, but it was my first job.
Chugging them.
My first job ever. It was McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yeah, I remember having a meeting one time at 7 a.m. I was 17 years old, and this woman came in and she said, "I've had 3 pots of coffee," and she was shaking all day long. She had to get to work right after that, and she was sweating and shaking.
That's like she's tachycardic. She's having a little heart attack.
But you said she was normally doing that, or was that a one-time thing?
No, she did that a lot. Yeah,
wow.
She had at least a pot or 2 before she came to work. She had kids. Insane. She had to get up with them, take them to the babysitter, all that stuff. She had to have that done by like 5:30, and then she came home and did nothing but
drink.
If
I had kids, I'd need something stronger than coffee, though. So I understand.
Yeah, that's true.
I just do the one cup cozy too. Yes, because
you're naturally so energetic.
Yeah, because my husband says that I'm like a Jack in the Box in the morning. You wind me up and I pop out on level 10, and I need to give people time because I wake up and I'm just like, it's day, come on, and it's like 5 a.m. and he's like,
tell everybody when you go to bed and when you wake up.
Do not talk. I go to bed at like 9:30. I'm usually done, and I wake up around 5 or 5:30. But and he's absolutely right. I wake up like a Jack in the Box. I mean, I wake up and it's just like the day, birds. I can't help it, and so
I think we're all night owls. The rest of us.
I have to remember that most people are. Even my husband, after 20 years, he's like, "Do not talk to me."
You are one of those fabled morning people. I've never actually seen one in the wild before.
I know. I'm like, I've never been. And Duncan, oh my gosh, 10 cups.
Wow, Duncan.
Early for me is about 2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
That's
I used to
go to bed.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I go to bed around 1, 2 in the morning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
which is when Tiffany is waking up on the East Coast.
Yeah, I have been up quite a few times before the sun came out. Sorry.
Oh.
Before the sun came out, I went to bed and slept about 2 hours. I do that a lot now, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel at peace during the night. I love it.
Oh, I
get anxiety during the day.
Yeah. Yeah, we're starting to do gardening. We're gonna do it tomorrow.
And you gotta be up in the morning for that.
Yeah, we'll probably be up. I'll be up a couple hours earlier for that for sure.
Oh, she might have done it in. I think she probably mentions it in the coffee house series. But what's Turkish coffee?
It's extremely strong. It's like 3 parts water to 1 part coffee.
Ooh.
And that is extremely strong. Like I do.
What's it normally?
15 to 1 or so.
It's outrageously
wow.
thick, and I think it's really sweet and
Yeah,
creamy.
yeah.
Thick.
Mm,
Thick.
Yeah,
thick.
but it's got such a strong coffee flavor.
interesting.
I want to try it.
Turkish and Greek, I think, are very similar coffees.
I think so. Yeah.
The method in which it's made. Yeah.
Storm.
All right, so it is almost 8:30. We've been going for an hour
Yeah.
and 25 minutes. We're gonna have to cut it short here.
Yep.
So basically, the Coffee House series is great, and everyone should read it.
It was a success.
Yeah.
And we got another cozy under Scott's belt, and he liked it. Yay!
Yeah. I read 5 now, and I've at least liked all of them.
And you'll continue with the series maybe at some point.
I will.
Awesome.
It won't be in May though. I've got a 850-page book I've got to read in May.
Yeah. Good luck
Wow.
with that.
I am reading whatever I want in May.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good. I'm doing that in June. In June, I'm gonna
Yeah,
do.
where
I'm
might
too
go?
structured. And I hope you guys are feeling better. We can get some more videos from your channel.
Yeah, we're about to start doing them again.
Oh,
Awesome.
good.
We've had
Good.
them planned, and then I'm like, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, we had to postpone. It started about the time we had to postpone Matt's interview. I started feeling really bad, and it wasn't just allergies for me. There's a lot more involved. I haven't felt well, just like at all.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
but I'm getting better.
good.
Quite a bit
That's
better.
good to hear. Really good to hear.
Even if you guys show a black screen and do a voiceover, I love your channel so much. I'd be happy with that.
I
To be honest.
agree.
Lay in bed and just talk and record it.
Or or you can just put the microphone on Link and then
Yeah,
you guys
show a
talk and
picture
we'll
of
just
Link.
watch him. Like he's so cute.
Link.
And we talking about the Cardinals, darn it.
Link.
Sophia, I have no idea when we're going to do another.
Yeah.
budget.
No, we
We'll do it
definitely
everybody
should.
else.
It's all we'll play it by ear. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
definitely
It was a lot of fun to do.
I remember that.
Another one I'm thinking of for Scott is the Pacific Northwest Mystery. I think he'd like that
Oh,
by
Ellie
Ellie Alexander's pin name. Yeah.
Yep,
That's the one where she does the the
Extreme sporting.
kayaking,
Yeah.
stream sport. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Sounds
she's
like
not
fun.
real. She lied her way into a job saying she can do extreme sports, and she really can't. They're entertaining.
Yep, we're
Love
doing
it.
Ellie dying.
Oh, is I Lay Dying?
Yeah, it's not very long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're reading As I Lay Dying next month. I'm going to read what I want to read after As I
Oh,
Lay
what genre is that one?
Dying. It's straight up literature. Right?
literary fiction from the 40s, 50s, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Who wrote it? Can't remember.
Why do you ask me these things?
I don't know.
I love seeing your banter live.
I know. That's why I was gonna say. That's why I love that. Just as soon as you said it, I was like, "That's why I love their channel so much because I just love seeing them go back and forth." It's so funny.
I'm one of the most famous authors ever.
It's William Faulkner.
Oh, okay. That's even why the title sounded familiar for me. I was like, wait, that title sounds familiar.
Yeah,
It's like
I've read it.
It's okay, Becky. It's allergy brain.
you know what? If you watch any of our videos, like the ones that we have over the last couple of weeks, my sinuses are completely clogged the entire time I'm doing them. So I'm like staring at the camera like this because I can't breathe.
I love that you guys are just so natural and you're not polished, though. I love that.
Well, we actually like each other.
Yeah.
I know a lot.
Imagine
of couples, I know a lot of couples who just can't stand to be in the same room with each other.
Yeah.
And I know lots of couples like that.
Yeah,
I think all of us here are what? I've been 14 years. Tiffany, I know you're a lot of years.
Yeah, it'll be 17 in November, but we were together almost 7 years
20.
before we got married.
So like 20 something years. That's
23, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been together for 15 years. Been married.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so everybody's long.
Yeah,
long
we're all
here.
over a decade. We all like our spouse. Imagine that.
I mean, most days. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Totally kidding.
Sorry, Kevin.
I just wrote that down, Mark. So I'll look that up. Archer Mayer. He told me to try that author. I just wrote it down.
Oh, yada yada.
We were tipsy. Love it.
I can't do tipsy videos because I can't get drunk.
Oh, really? My husband's like that.
Yeah, I can't.
15 years together, I have never once seen him drunk. Haven't seen him tipsy.
Wow.
Oh.
I drank a bottle and a half of wine at a party one time. You remember that?
Mhm.
It was like 16% wine.
Alcohol.
And, yeah, 16% alcohol. And drank a bottle and a half of it and felt nothing. I can't get drunk from beer.
Wow. And me,
I
I'm
had-
one and done. After one, I'm like,
Yeah.
Really?
I can't.
I
Yeah.
don't know why that is. I have no idea why, but
My husband's the same way. Yeah. He'll get slightly tipsy, but that's it.
It's just weird. Just weird. Yeah, this was loads of fun.
yeah.
And
It
tell her I said
was.
hi, Mark. But anyway, I guess that's it. An hour and a half. I think that's
Yeah.
a pretty respectable video that's mostly talked about on What Grounds by
Well,
Cleo.
We had
Coyle.
some great coffee talk. We talked
A
about the
lot of
book. We had some,
coffee.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was fun.
It was
So
great.
we will have to do this again, and we'll talk about another read along soon. I think
Yeah. No
we'll
rush
do
whenever you feel like it.
Yeah. Take next month, or I mean, because like
Oh,
you said, we've been
it
doing
could
so
be at-
many, like
It could be at the end of the year. It don't matter to me.
Well, what he was saying, it doesn't even have to be a read along. We can just do another live next month.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd love to just do a chat like how we do. And Becky's joined us, Scott. If you ever want to come and join us on our cozy chat for a little bit,
Yeah, let me
You can
get
do
a
that.
few more cozies under my belt and I'll do that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Or just we always go off on just random topics too. So
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's basically like this.
Okay.
yeah, and
Yeah.
if anybody watching is it from me and Tiffany, we do a cozy mystery and chat and reading sprints every Saturday on the Beachbum Bookworms channel at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. I watch it sometimes if I'm not laying down somewhere sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of that. But yeah, okay, cool.
But anyway,
Yeah, we had a good time.
yeah, we did.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much. We had a blast. I had a blast.
Thank
Me
you,
too.
thank you so much for coming,
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody
Anytime.
that's here.
and thank you everybody. Yeah, thank you everybody who came.
Thanks, everybody.
really fun.
Yeah, we had about I think 20 in here at
Yeah, it was a
at
good
one
show.
time. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So have a good night, everyone.
Yes. Have a good night. Glad you're feeling better. See y'all later. Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.